The gentleman that I'm going to introduce to you next, Hanakia Zedek, is actually going to be doing a reading from Fredrick Douglass's speech on the 4th of July. And I told him that I would leave it up to him to find something that would be befitting for the event. And he rose to the occasion. So everyone, put your hands together. Let's bring him up to the podium.
For the present, it is enough to affirm the equal manhood of the Negro race. Is it not astonishing that while we are plowing, planting, and reaping, using all sorts of mechanical tools, erecting houses, constructing bridges, building ships, working in metals of brass, iron, copper, silver, and gold, that while we are reading, writing, ciphering, acting as clerks, merchants, and secretaries, having among us lawyers, doctors, ministers, poets, authors, editors, artists, teachers, that we are engaged in all manners of enterprise, common to other men, digging gold in California, capturing the whale in the Pacific, feeding the sheep and cattle on a hillside, living, acting, thinking, planning, living in families as husbands, wives, and children. And above all, confessing and worshiping the Christian's God and looking hopefully for a life and immortality beyond the grave, we are called upon to prove that we are men. Would you have me argue that a man is entitled to liberty? That he is the rightful owner of his own body? You have already declared it. Must I argue the wrongfulness of slavery? Is that a question for Republicans? Is it to be settled by the rules and laws of logic and argumentation, as a matter beset with great difficulty involving a doubtful application of the principles of justice? Hard to understand? How should I look today in the presence of Americans, dividing and subdividing a discourse to show that men have a natural right to freedom? Speaking of it relatively and positively, negatively and affirmingly, to do so would make myself ridiculous and to offer an insult to your understanding. There is no man beneath heaven that does not know that slavery is wrong for him. What then am I to argue? That it is wrong to make men brutes, to rob them of their liberty, to work them without wages, to keep them ignorant of their relations to other fellow men, to beat them with sticks, to flay their flesh with a lash, to load their limbs with irons, to hunt them with dogs, to sell them at auction, to sunder their families, to knock out their teeth, to burn their flesh, to starve them into obedience and submission to their masters? Must I argue that a system thus marked with blood and stained with pollution is wrong? No, I will not. I have better employment for my time and strength than such arguments would imply. What then remains to be argued? Is it that slavery is not divine, that God did not establish it? That our doctors of divinity are mistaken? There is a blasphemy in the thought that which is inhuman cannot be divine. Who can reason on such a proposition? They that can, may. I cannot, for the time for such an argument is past. At a time like this, scorching irony, not convincing argument is needed. Oh, had I the ability and could reach a nation's ear, I would today pour out a fiery stream of biting ridicule, blasting reproach, withering sarcasm, and stern rebuke. For it is not light that is needed, but fire. It is not a gentle shower, but thunder. We need a storm, the whirlwind and the earthquake. The feeling of the nation must be quickened, and the conscience of a nation must be roused. The property of a nation must be startled. The hypocrisy of the nation must be exposed. And the crimes against God and man must be proclaimed and denounced. What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him more than all other days in the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which he has constant victim. To him, your celebration is a shame. Your boasted liberty, an unholy license. Your national greatness, swelling vanity. Your sounds of rejoicing are empty and heartless. Your denunciation of tyrants, brass-fronted impudence. Your shouts of liberty and equality, hollow mockery. Your prayers and hymns, your sermons and thanksgiving, with all your religious parade and solemnity, are to him mere bombast. Lurked with fraud, deception, impiety, and hypocrisy, a thin veil to cover up crimes which would disgrace a nation of savages. There is not a nation on the earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of the United States at this very hour. Still,